Hello, Huggo. What's up?
What's up, my man? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good.
You alright? Alright, so since you're a Judo and Jiu-Jitsu black belt, could you tell us, based in your point of view, in your experience, what's the difference between Judo and Jiu-Jitsu?
Well, I believe that the biggest difference would be the rule set. I think the sport is developed by the rule sets. So depending how it goes, you're gonna see a different progression. For example, Judo is gonna be more focused on the standing fighting. You know, it's gonna be focused on the takedowns. It's gonna be focused on the stabilization. Right. Jiu-Jitsu, because of the rules, you're gonna spend more time on the ground. So even the ground game is gonna be developed differently. You know, the Judo Newaza, as it's called, it's gonna be more transitioning of the Tachiwaza, which is the fight standing. So you're gonna spend less time there. You're gonna catch the guy mostly in the in-between. Right. You know, you're not gonna let yourself fall on your back. So you're gonna open your neck, you're gonna open your arm, and the guy's gonna do a quick transition to keep you in a position. Right. In Jiu-Jitsu, since you have more time, happens to happen that you're gonna develop the techniques a little bit more polished than Judo would be. Because of the time frame. Right. You know? So I would see the rules playing a big difference in the way you're gonna evolve as a sport. You know? Right. Yeah. So that's why I think Jiu-Jitsu players, they don't spend too much time standing because they don't spend too much time standing during the real fight. You know, most of them, like, you're gonna get to see black belt world champions, they don't even do takedowns because the rule set allows them not to. Yeah. You know,
just pull guard and
exactly. You can just sit on your butt and then start playing from there. In Judo, that would be impossible because you're gonna have to start the fight by gripping and trying to take the guy down.
In your opinion, if there would be a transition, which way would be a better way? From Judo to Jiu-Jitsu or Jiu-Jitsu to Judo?
I believe it's easier to do from Judo to Jiu-Jitsu because the way up to the way down, it's easier to adapt because the Judo takedown takes longer to master. Right. You know, a takedown takes a lifetime to master. So from the way back, like if you do Jiu-Jitsu and start learning takedowns later on, it's going to be more difficult just because of the dynamic itself, you know, like you're gonna have to fall for a few years just to develop the bone density. Then you're gonna need just to, you know, get used to falling and not damaging your body too much.
Cool. Interesting. And something else, I was present myself personally. I was there in Awasa Club and I saw you doing a progression of the ranking belt. And I found that was an interesting idea. Could you tell us again, what's your point of view about the belt system?
Yeah, it's basically, that's the way that I see Jiu-Jitsu pretty much. You know, like I grew up across both disciplines and I got to see being much more important in Jiu-Jitsu, the belt rankings than in Judo. Because in Judo, when you compete, it's going to be everybody in the same bracket. Right. If you're white, black, doesn't matter. There's only age and weight categories. Yeah. So it's going to be senior 73 kilos. It's going to be, junior 66 kilos. So from white to black, they're going to be in the same bracket. In Jiu-Jitsu, that doesn't happen. Because in Jiu-Jitsu, the belts, they're more prevalent when it's like the level, it's going to be distinguished by the belt color. And that's more interesting. A white belt, for example, is going to be a period where you're going to educate your instincts, you know, your basic instincts of survival. For example, the guy mounts you. If you try to extend your limbs to push the guy, you're gonna expose your arms. If you turn your back, the guy's gonna, he's gonna get your neck. So you're gonna have to develop that re-educate your basic instincts just to know how to behave in dangerous situations. Correct. A blue belt would be when you're getting the form, the shape of techniques, you know, like you're going to learn some basics as a white belt, but blue belt, you're going to have more of a shape of the techniques like triangles, arm bars, kimuras, collar chokes, you know, more stabilization into the positions. Like you're going to know what a side control is, what a back take is. You're going to know where a full mount is. A purple belt would be a connection in between those techniques. You're going to be able to flow into those techniques a little bit better, and you're going to be more technically autonomous, more independent on the way they, how can I say that? Like, you're going to be more independent on solving your own problems, on finding solutions for more problems. Yeah. You know, back then in Brazil, when I was a kid, most of the instructions, they were purple belts. Right. Because purple belt, they're technically mature enough just to lead someone else as a beginner. Right. You know, so most of the instructors, they were purple belts because they have this autonomy as a technician just to be able to solve problems and, you know, being able to transfer that to someone else. A brown belt is like when you're getting almost there, you're polishing that connection, and now you're just getting the little polishment to your technique, you know? And a black belt, theoretically, would be when you master the movement of your own body. Right. With your own body, you're now a weapon. You should be able to handle someone else's with your body, master your body in a way where you can dominate someone else. At the same time, that's when you actually start learning in a different level. So I believe that from white to brown, you're getting ready. So when you get your black belt, you start learning at a different level. I got my black belt like 6 years ago or so. And I think in the first 2 years, I learned more like as a black belt than I learned in the whole journey. Yeah, and the whole journey up to then. You know, like that's when you start getting ready to learn at a different level, because now you master the movement of your own body.
Interesting. And I've heard you talking about the difference of position and positioning. And I found it really interesting. And mostly you get to that point when you get to the black belt. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Exactly. You know, there's like the position itself, like the you know, there's the point A, point B, that would be the position. And the journey to get there would be the positioning. Right. You know, there's a certain things like body weight distribution, a few things that you need to know how to handle your opponent. Right. For example, if I wanna control the guy on a pinning position, side control, full mount and stuff, I need to block his points of support. That would be the positioning. The position would be what I'm going to strike into those dominant positions.
Can be a guard pass, a sweep, a submission.
Exactly. So the positioning of your body, that's gonna allow you to attack and defend at the same time. Position would be what you're gonna do once you have the dominance.
Perfect.
You know, so it's basically like what it is.
Okay, that's pretty much your point of view.
Yeah, basically.
All right, man. So thank you very much. Yes, guys, we had Huggo here with us today.